Alright guys, so again we're going to be starting here at the sculpture. The game actually froze on me, which is kind of common for the PS4 upgrade games on the PlayStation 5, especially the ones that weren't like rebuilt for the PlayStation 5. So I did lose some of the footage, so we're just going to be starting back at that sculpture. But basically where we're at now, that's the castle that we're trying to get to, and this is the outskirts of Ashina Castle. So we're going to have to make our way through here. Uh, I did find one important item. I'll show you where all the items that I found were. But again, you're going to come to this next sculpture. You can rest. It's going to reset the world, but you don't really have to. You're going to come jump down here. Again, I'll show you where the items are. I only found one important item. But alright, so this is how you're going to stealth. So you're going to lock on by using R3. Once you're locked on, you just jump. Once it turns red, you can attack, and you stealth kill. Okay? There you see the enemy. He's dropping some money. Gives you some experience. You just hold square. So you come out here, there's no items out here, but right down this pathway, there's two items. Nothing important, it's like ceramic shards and a fistful of ash, so you didn't miss anything there. But yeah, the game generally runs really smoothly, especially on the PlayStation 5, but every once in a while you'll have a hiccup. These initial enemies are super easy. Don't forget to loot. It's pretty easy in Sekiro to forget to loot enemies, just because of the nature of holding square. I wish there was a way to just automatically do it. But on your first playthrough, you're probably going to be wanting using stealth to get through this area. You might not feel comfortable with the combat system yet, but you drop down here. Right here, there's going to be a Akko sugar. Go ahead and show you what Akko sugar is. It's a sugar candy made in Senpu Temple, sustaining Akko's blessing, boost attack power for a time. Basically, he's going to bite it, and he's going to go into an Akko stance. For 30 seconds, Akko sugar will increase your attack power tremendously. The best way to use it, in my experience, is once you, because they're a finite item. They're not just like as many as you can, carry at once. They're kind of difficult to find. The best way to use it is when you come up to a tough boss or a tough enemy that you're, having a lot of trouble getting through. When you use Akko sugar, once you've kind of learned the move set and you feel like you're confidently going to be able to defeat them this time, pop the sugar. It'll kind of put you over the edge of what you need. There's also a sugar that makes it so you take less damage. There's a sugar that makes it so you can sneak around a lot better, maybe get a stealth kill on a mini boss kind of thing. So the sugars are very important. We're going to take this guy out first. He has the musket, so it's going to make it a little bit more easy. Alright, so those first enemies, not a huge deal. Again, taking out the ranged enemies is very important. Alright, here's the dog. So the dog's going to do a jump. All you're going to do is deflect during the jump. And you're going to counter it with a death blow, right? So, nothing crazy. Alright, Ungo sugar. Sugar candy made in Senpu Temple, sustaining Ungo's blessing. Temporarily reduces vitality damage taken from physical attacks. So, basically, it's just the opposite. It's going to give you more defense instead of offense. So, again, if you're having trouble with a boss that hits like a truck, like a lot of these bosses do, you pop the sugar, kind of gives you that extra, defense on mistakes. So, again, the dog's going to do a jump. And, oh, I locked on the wrong one. Alright, nope, not a big deal. Again, you can just run up and slash them, but, everything in this game is about countering. So, he's going to run away. And they die in one hit. So again, not tough bosses. There is an item over here. I forgot what it was, but it wasn't very important. And you're going to come up here to the next sculpture. So come up to the sculpture. You don't have to rest yet because the next important item is right here. And this is actually where the game froze right after I got it. But on this guy, there is going to be your first prosthetic tool, which is going to be the shrunken wheel. So a mechanical device made by the mechanical genius Dogen can be fit into the prosthetic to become a working prosthetic tool. While it's palm-sized, a surprising number of shrunken can fit into the shrunken wheel, as the edges were designed for stacking, a fine example of what can be achieved when you mix mechanical prowess with shinobi skills. Alright, so basically the shrunken wheel is just going to give you the ability to use range attacks on enemies. especially enemies that jump up in the air. If you can hit them with a shrunken, uh, you're gonna, keep that pressure on them and a lot of times knock them out of the sky. So this is where the game froze for me. So we're right back to where we started. We're gonna come back to the sculptor because we got our first prosthetic tool. Emma
You
is
truly
a new
returned
NPC
from the
here,
dead.
so
The
let's listen to
power
her
of the
dialogue.
dragon's blood. I never thought I'd see it with my own eyes.
Who are you?
My name is Emma. I am a doctor serving a certain master.
What master?
Forgive me, but for his safety, I cannot reveal his identity. However, my master gave explicit orders to assist you in any way I can. I'm not telling you to trust me. However, I must fulfill my master's orders. The gourd of medicinal water you possess, that was originally a creation of mine. I am a doctor, and I will assist you in that capacity.
All right, so
You made this gourd.
Yes,
Emma
it was
is basically
intended
where
for
you're going to
Lord
come
Kuro,
to
but it
upgrade
seems
your
he
healing
entrusted
item.
it to
So
you.
as you
I'm
find
sure
the
you may have
seeds throughout the
noticed,
world, you
but
bring them back
the
to Emma.
medicinal
She'll
waters in
add the
this
seed
gourd
into your
spring
gourd,
forth on
and it'll
their
give you
own.
an extra
Even after
heal.
being
So
emptied, you will find
very
it full
helpful,
again
kind of
after a short
get out of
rest.
jail free cards.
Yes.
So
Is there a way to
very worth
improve it?
finding all the
Bring me
gourds,
gourd
and I'll show you
seeds.
where to find all
Gourd
those and how to get
seeds?
them all.
Yes, medicinal waters flow from gourd seeds. Adding new seeds will increase the volume of these medicinal waters. If you find any, bring them to me.
All right.
All right,
I'd like to make a request.
and we also want to make sure we
What is it?
exhaust all the dialogue.
Please show me your face.
What?
This white mark, is it a birthmark?
No.
Then that must mean it appears on those who have received the dragon's heritage. Or perhaps it's a symptom.
You can see what she's talking about on his
Are
face
you
right there.
done?
Yes, that will be all. I'm sorry.
Again, the game is beautiful.
That was
I mean,
rather rude of
2019,
me.
but the environment in this game is crazy.
Goodbye.
All right, so we're gonna go in here and upgrade our Shinobi prosthetic.
I found one.
A shinobi tool?
Yes.
I said before that your prosthetic arm was a fang. But by fitting shinobi tools to your arm, you'll be able to change the form of that fang. Thick shields, break them into splinters. Swift foes, bring them down from afar. Fitting more devices means more ways to slay your enemies. If there's someone that needs killing, there's a proper way to kill them. That's all there is to it.
Seems you know this prosthetic very well.
I should calm myself. The more I speak of bloodshed, the more demonic my sculptures will become. Give it ear. I'll fit that tool for you.
All right, so we're gonna give him the prosthetic, and he's gonna give us the loaded shuriken, which is basically gonna be pull a shuriken into the loaded wheel and launch it to a target in a single flowing motion. Swiftly thrown shuriken damages vitality and posture, particularly against those who take to the air. So I'm gonna go ahead and unlock it. Doesn't cost anything to unlock, and he doesn't have any new
Yes,
dialogue at this
right.
point.
That kind-faced Buddha you see over there, don't do anything funny with it.
All right, so if you want to unlock the prosthetic, you come in your options. You get to choose 3 as a loadout, and you can switch them as much as you want, but you cycle through them using triangle. This
You
is the
see
Buddha
that
he was talking about.
kind-faced Buddha there? That isn't one of mine. It was carved by the true sculptor. When a man must confront what is inside of him, it can probably be of help.
Confront what is inside him.
Anger, sadness, or perhaps old memories of times long gone. That kind of thing.
All right, so that's not going to be hugely important yet. Soon it will. All right, so we just got our first spirit emblem. Spirit emblems are needed to use your prosthetic tool, right? So we're going to go ahead and purchase some more. You get them from killing enemies, but you can also purchase them from Sen. I would highly recommend that you purchase spirit emblems before you go into a boss fight. That way, it's a good way to make sure your sen isn't wasted. And I could have just used the sculpture, but we'll just do this quickly. So yeah, basically what's going on with the story right now. Emma is sent here to help. We don't know at this point who she was sent by, but she is going to be there kind of guiding you through certain aspects of the story. And she's also going to be helping us upgrade our gourd. And it's going to kind of come important to what Emma's, her master that she talked about was, but that'll be revealed later on. All right, so we're back here. All the enemies have respawned because we rested. So we're just going to skip those. And we're going to come up on our first boss fight. So standing over there, first boss. He's a mini boss. He's not a major boss. Let's jump up here, make sure there's no items. There's a rooster, which is like the weirdest enemy in the game. And is there any items up here? I can't remember. Don't think there were, but alright, cool. So no. Alright, so in this game, there's a lot of different directions that you can take in order to get around, especially in these open areas. So make sure you explore everything. If you see a grappling hook spot, make sure you try to take it. There's a lot of shortcuts that you can get, but eventually we're going to be getting down there into those buildings. But we got to go through here first. Alright, mini bosses. So the game is littered with mini bosses, and they are the means of upgrading your health and your posture. Every time you defeat one, you'll get what's called a prayer bead. Once you get 4 prayer beads, you will be able to upgrade your vitality and posture. Every mini boss in the game can be stealth killed, but you see this guy has 2 health bars. So if you fought him just head on, you would have to go through 2 death blows by parrying and all that good stuff. This mini boss is going to teach you about perilous attacks. He's got a sweep that you're going to have to jump over, and you'll see a little red Japanese symbol pop up over your head, basically telling you that you cannot deflect or block this, and that you need to react to it in a certain different type of way. So some enemies sweep, some enemies thrust, some of them grab, and you're going to have to react based on what they're doing. It's kind of a split-second reaction. So a lot of times, the first time you die to an enemy, it'll be because of one of these perilous attacks, and you'll just have to start being able to tell what's coming based off the way they move. But if you sneak around to mini bosses, like I just did on this one, you can take out one of their health bars by doing this. Alright. Alright, so that's 1 health bar down. Now we're just going to go normal flow combat. There's the sweep. Just jump over it. And then go back to attacking. I'm going to back up because I can't jump there, but you see his postures are already recovering because I stopped attacking. So go back to normal. So he did the thrust there. I don't have the means of countering the thrust yet. So again, once you get the means to counter the thrust, it's actually one of the easiest ones, and you'll actually start enjoying when enemies do that. But there's the prayer bead. Currently, Wolf has 1 bead in his possession, and we also get a gourd seed. So the twisted gourd of medicinal waters was known throughout Ashina since long ago, but it was the extraordinary healer Dogen and his apprentice Emma. Blah 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 blah. Basically, you bring those to Emma, and it'll increase your gourd seed, which we will do, just not right away. Alright, so this is the next open area that we're going to be going through. There's a ton of enemies, ton of items. Basically, we're going to make our way down here. Notice at the top of this hill, there is a merchant, but we can't access it from over here. We have to get around. So I'm going to basically show you guys how to clear this area. You can just kind of rush through the area and avoid them all, but we're going to take them out, so make sure we get all the items and whatnot. So I'm going to come up here. Oh, I missed it. Again, you can hide in the tall grass, kind of makes sneaking around easier, but whenever you can attack from above, it's always beneficial. Alright, so these guys are going to be having a conversation. We're going to go ahead and eavesdrop on them. I don't know how they didn't hear that.
Do you think it can be won? I fear we may not prevail.
What? We'll be just fine. Look, Ishin may be sick, but he's still going strong. Genichiro is a terror with the bow. And of course, we have Gyobu the demon.
Ah, Yobu, of course. Good point. As long as he is with us, no man could ever breach the Ashina castle gate.
Alright, so we know now that Ishin is sick, Ishino was the character from the cutscene, and we know that Genichiro uses a bow, and that there's another guy named Gyobu that is apparently a legend, right? So some future enemies we'll probably have to take care of. All right, there's a guy with a gun that I forgot to clear. Not a big deal. You can kind of break visual contact with people in this game fairly easy, and we're gonna go ahead and take care of him real quick. All right, get this light coin purse again. Coin purses are amazing. It's like having a bank account in the game. And let's take care of this guy. Bowmen are extremely easy to take care of. And again, as you can see, some enemies will have the alert over their head, basically saying like, hey, they notice something's going on. They just don't know where it is. So these guys are on patrol. Every time you see the samurai with the like the bird skin or like the straw around him, he's going to be the most difficult to deal with. The other ones are kind of like his lackeys, right? So if we're going to attack them, we can only get one. There are ways to make sure you get all of them, like through stealth, but it's not worth it. The other guys are a joke. Boom. Of course, as I say that, he goes on. Alright, now we're going to stealth kill this guy. Again, using your prosthetic to kind of move around makes the game a lot more easy. A lot more easy. A lot easier. Sorry, my English is terrible. And like I said, on your first playthrough, you're probably going to want to come through and stealth this whole area, which is perfectly fine. You know, stealthing through an area is a lot more efficient. And this is actually a pretty decent farm area once you've kind of mapped everything out. But there's better farms that are closer in the game. There's a big guy down here. You want to make sure you don't miss him because he will ruin your day the first time that you fight him. And we're going to go on the first level here. Alright, Mibu Balloon of Wealth. A Mibu Balloon filled with fountainhead water imbued with the blessing of wealth. If one pops the gold Mibu Balloon and prays, those its water splashes upon will acquire more coin for a period of time. Mibu means aquatic life or life born of the water. The Ashina considered the fountainhead water to be worthy of worship. So fountainhead water is a place, or Fountainhead Palace is a place that we're going to be going to much later in the game. But basically, Genichiro has been experimenting with the water in order to try to mimic Kuro's power. And it's going to have varying results and some unfortunate side effects for some people in the game. But yep, so now that we've kind of cleared this area, we're going to... Now you can talk to this lady, and we will, but first... I kill some chickens. The chickens do this annoying thing where they jump up in the air, and they can kind of stun lock you, so when you can kill them through stealth, it's much easier. But you're going to come down here, pick a couple coin purses. So that's 300 sen right there. So, you know, it's very worth kind of exploring around here. And we're going to talk to this poor guy.
Who is it? Is somebody there?
Yes.
That voice. No. Could it be? Sir, my name is Inosuke Nogami, a vassal of the Hirata family. Or at least I was. I ask a favor. Might you look in on the old lady in that house? She's my mother, but her mind is failing. She cannot tell one from another.
Alright, so this guy's had like a really bad day, as you can tell. And for some reason, Hirata Estates keeps coming up in conversation, and people seem to know Sekiro that he doesn't know in return. So
Is that you, Inosuke? My son.
we'll
Have
figure
you
out that piece
seen
of the
the young
puzzle when we get
master?
there, but just keep that in mind. It's kind of where the story's going right now.
I am not your son.
There you go again, Inosuke. You always tease that I'm getting senile, but a mother knows her own son. Well, anyway, take this bell. It's a charm I made with the young master in mind. Please, offer it to Buddha for his sake.
Alright, so she says offer it to Buddha. The only Buddha that we've encountered so far in the game is the one in the sculpture's hut. Alright, so a bell charm received from an old woman who has to be offered to Buddha. Bell charms protect their holders through Buddha's divine protection. If one finds themselves the owners of another's bell Offering it to Buddha on their behalf is common courtesy. The sculptor at the dilapidated temple can advise how it should be offered.
Inosuke, have you tried the rundown temple with that stubborn
Yeah,
sculpture
so she's
in
kind of
it?
guiding
I'm
you to
sure
where to
you'll
go
find
in.
Buddha there.
Alright, but we are not going to go do that right away. There's some things we got to do here first. So this is the area that we just came from, and this is the area that we're going. I'm going to show you kind of why this is like your first good farm spot, but be very careful here. There's a guy with a cannon, and he will fuck your world up. Alright, so we're going to take a back route to get to him. I just wanted to clear that initial boss out. Is this it? Yes. Alright, cool. Come down here, get this item. Alright, so that's the next sugar. It's for stealth. Basically, that sugar is going to make it so that you're like 50% more invisible. It allows you to sneak up on mini bosses a lot easier without being seen, or sneak through a group of enemies. But there's the guy with the cannon, so we're going to kind of spring ourselves around and get a death blow. Now, you do not have to be in stealth to get a stealth kill as long as they don't see you. Alright, so he gave us a rare item. Where is it? Black gunpowder. So black grains forming the base of gunpowder. Material used in alchemical prosthetic tool upgrades, including those of an explosive and occultic nature. Even the most mundane form of gunpowder has a wide variety of applications. So it's basically an upgrade mat for your prosthetic tool. Powerful antidote concocted within the Sunken Valley clan. We'll see them later. Heal status abnormality poison and temporarily increases poison resistance. Magnetite deposits are found in the Sunken Valley, but the place is dangerously toxic. Antidote power is essential for anyone attempting to mine the ore. So we'll travel down there later on in the game, but for now, we are going to deal with... Oh, there's this guy. Jump back up. So, for some reason it didn't give me the prompt for a self-kill. Not a big deal. Alright, so now that we've made it here, there's a couple things that you're going to not want to miss. Alright, so this little back path right here that you can kind of see, we're going to make sure that we hit that up. So, jump over here. Get the spirit emblem. And so the Mibu possession balloon, very much the same as the wealth balloon. When you use these, it's going to give you about a minute of increased drops from items, like rare items from enemies, and this one is going to give you increased drops for gold from enemies. But there is a way to use them to make them much more efficient, and I'll be covering that once we get to our first farming area, and I'll show you guys how to use that effectively. Scrap iron, iron dregs mined in Ashina, widely used for basic reinforcement, can serve as a base material for prosthetic tool upgrades. Ashina is burdened with thick snow and infertile land, but the scrap iron dug from her soil is anything but crude. So, some good upgrade mats in this little back area. Nothing that you want to miss, but nothing that's like game breaking if you do miss it. And then you're just going to sneak through here. Sekiro sneaks very slowly. Alright, so one thing that you're going to want to notice with Soulsborne games, especially as we get into the other ones, is a lot of the story is told through the environment. So down there is the Sunken Valley. And let me see if I can pull up the map once I get up here. Kind of end the episode of the next sculpture. Those are areas that we're all going to go to. Everything is interconnected, so it's not like levels that you would think. Everything is a fluent game, right? It's just the way you tackle it almost seems like levels. And alright, so this is... Forgot there was a chicken there. Alright, so we're going to hit this last piece of lore, and then I'm going to run you guys through to where the merchants in the area are.
Hirata, I must pay my respects.
Lord Kuro.
Lady Emma, are there other Hirata survivors?
Again, Harada.
There are very few of us left.
I see. Apologies. There's no end to those who seek the dragon's heritage. This was their fate. Because of those that pursued me. I didn't mean to involve them.
Alright, so these little flashbacks for Kuro, he's going to be kind of giving some backstory of what's going on. There's a merchant here, but we're going to go up to the next idol, and in the next episode, we'll hit all the merchants, and I'm going to kind of show you guys what the important things are that we're missing from these merchants and that we need to get before we kind of move on with the game. Again, nothing in this game is required. You can beat this entire game without doing a single upgrade on anything, just by doing perfect pairing and perfect combat and reactions. So, again, don't feel like all of this is required, but I just want to make sure I cover all the bases. Alright, catch you in the next episode.